Right, listen up, team. There have been reports of a new player in the underground. We don't know who it is. We know they're organized, motivated, and building a team of henchmen and minions, the like of which the world has never seen before. This person is attempting to become an evil genius.
Sir,
What is it, Perkins?
would you say that the evil genius would have an underground lair, sir?
It would appear not, Perkins. However, I fear it's only a matter of time.
What do evil lairs look like, sir?
Well, Perkins, if I were to build an evil lair, not that I would, you understand, I'd design an evil lair, the like of which the world had never seen. Probably build it into a mountain, Perkins, underground. Throw in a barracks for the men, and a control room to organize the away teams. And a strong room, of course, store all my ill-gotten gains. Probably have to build some recreation items for the men. They get disloyal, you know, maggots.
Would you build traps, sir?
Hundreds of them, Perkins. Don't want agents snooping around while you're taking over the world. And I'd build a cover operation to hide the base from prying eyes. Camouflage, that's the key.
It's a good thing you're not an evil genius, sir.
Don't be such a damn fool, Perkins. Right, team, you have your orders. Get out there and find me a madman.
Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Scraps and today we're playing Evil Genius. The way I'm going to play this is different from my other series, because first of all this game is a little bit more open in regards to story, but aside of that, it's just a really slow game. I've played this a few years ago, and I used to play it a lot back in the day. Before I even started this YouTube channel, because this game was released in 2004 by a company named Elixir Studios, which unfortunately no longer exists. This game has a lot of bugs, a lot of issues, as far as I know. I looked into ways of fixing it, but apparently it's not really necessary, or at least I've understood that it's not necessary at all. So this is just the game as you can get it on GOG.com, the good old games, you know. And obviously, it's a game about an evil genius. You've already seen the intro video of launching the game. I will not be doing the tutorial because I've already done the tutorial years ago. But if you want to check this game out for yourself, the link's in the description, both to Steam and to GOG. Because you can get it on both, and I want to offer a non-exclusive service, so choose your pick. We'll be starting a new game as Maximilian. With or without video hints? Without, honestly. I find the video hints annoying. Let's go with the Maximilian guy. And so we begin. Now, I just realized I need to move my keyboard a little bit, because this game is played with the arrow keys. Okay, so, for those of you who are absolutely unfamiliar with Evil Genius, there's an objective screen, and it tells you basically just what your goals are at the moment. First, the game always starts the same, and as far as I know, it always has the same direction. There are some variations in regards to some side missions that you randomly unlock, in some cases. I'm not entirely certain about all of the side missions, but for now, let's just start. We'll be designing our bunker, and we need to include a barracks. We need to include a control room. And apparently we are under scrutiny before we've even started. Somewhere on the island are some pesky investigators. We need to kill them, of course, because we don't want anyone to know about our secret base. Which currently, as you can tell, there's only this huge mountain. Like, there's plenty of space to build. In the end, it's not enough, believe it or not. But for now, let's get to building. You get this building screen when you click on the mountain with the right mouse button. If you are outside and you click, you get this option. just a few things. Eventually it'll increase in what it has to offer, but for now, not really anything. So first of all, I always do a little bit of counting, like I want a door right at the entrance of mine. Can't put it here, unfortunately. So it's just one block in, one square, I suppose. And then a little bit of space and then another one. And then have a corner right there, which can actually go quite far. I usually just go like this. So there's a little bit of a space here, which can be used later. I always put an extra entrance here. I always mess up, but I think I've got it this time. It'll just be straight like that. Okay, that's regarding the entrance. There will be a few rooms here and here that won't be a secret to the... that won't be a secret we'll need to keep from the investigators. So, when it comes to that, the setup is fine. Now, we'll want a corridor, but not this. It shouldn't go all the way. In fact, we want this space to be barely usable. It needs to be too wide, at least. So this should suffice, I think. Then we'll add a little corner here with another door, and then now we've actually have some space here for another room. Obviously, I could continue designing and always I end up making another entrance down here, which is just a small version of the things that we've got up here, because there's a lot more space here eventually. But for now, I think this should be sufficient. Let's go in a little bit and, well, let's tell them to build it. So holding shift will allow you to place multiple items. Yeah. Right there. And I wanted another door right there. So basically there's a few doors that will prevent people from entering. We don't need fire extinguishers just yet. We'll add those at a later date. There's unfortunately no way of making the game time speed up, but what we can do is add a few more minions. In the minion management screen, eventually, as you can tell, there will be a lot of different minion types unlocked. The one up top is for fighting, the one in the middle is science, and the one in the bottom is social. Now what does that all mean? I'll show you when I get there. Let's see how these minions are building up our first walls. Our first, well, hallways, I suppose. And from there on we'll start to design the rooms, because at this point I've waited so long that it's impossible to connect them anymore. And the game will complain about that. I think that's one of the issues it has. Now as we wait, I want to send our henchmen right here. So we can call up all of our minions. And tell them to follow. So we can start killing these guys. Now if you would control and click, you end up selecting them all. Which is exactly what we want in this case. And you can tell a tunnel is being dug right as we speak. This game will sometimes have a lot of things happening and sometimes only a few things. In this case, it's probably a lot. I tend to play quite actively, so...
New rooms are available for construction.
Ah, that's right, we've made our first body. And bodies... well, when we kill agents, they turn into body bags. And a body bag has a side effect... I suppose we've finished one of the tasks. A body bag has a range in which it affects the environment. Along with that, if another agent finds a body bag, they become suspicious, and sometimes they collect evidence as well, which, if reported to the authorities, which happens when they escape. It basically just means that heat, which I'll explain later, will increase. And we don't want that, of course. So let's send our boss in. He'll be exploring the place. Well, actually, that's not how the game works, but whatever. We won't need a really big strong room, but it must be connected to the hallways in order to work at all. So,
Object purchase order confirmed.
let's tell them to build it.
Unpaused.
And once it's been built, we will be able to move this thing, because it saves us an irrelevant amount of money, and we'll be able to store our money in there. Away from prying eyes, must I add. Need I say more? Nay,
Underway.
of course not. So, another door here. Now what the freezer room does is, obviously,
Order confirmed.
as we unlocked it when we killed a few people, it has to do with body bags. And indeed, it has to do with the body bags. In fact, what the room does is it keeps them cool and tells the minions to put away the body bags in one place. I put it at the front of the base, usually, just behind the doors of... just behind the doors where we don't want people to see.
Object purchase
So,
order confirmed.
obviously, when they see these rooms, they will be suspicious and... well, that's basically just bad for us. We don't need a really big control room, by the way. I usually make it extremely big and just looking cool. In this case, I think I'll play a little bit more tactically. Now, obviously, we start off with extremely little money. So, I'll be removing a few of these, so that they won't spend the money on it. The reason I am buying all of these is because when we destroy this, the money that's in there will automatically be transferred in here. And we don't want it to spawn somewhere where we actually want one of the briefcases because we can't move it. The game doesn't support that kind of thing, which is unfortunate, I think, but... well, I suppose it can't be helped. So, now that they've built this, we can move the body bags into this, well, meat rack. It's, not suspicious at all, as long as there's no bodies hanging in there. And we've been able to dig out the first part of the control room. They're currently working on putting in place all of the machines that we've got here. However, it seems that we've also unlocked the power plant, and this needs a lot of space. Which is why I've reserved so much space right here. Let's first of all extend the corridor a little bit further, so it matches with this. Perfect alignment, and then we can have the control room be right there. I think would be a good spot. However, it seems that I forgot to put in place a barracks. Which, at first, is not necessarily that important for a room. But when you start... we've unlocked the world map. Along with a few other things, apparently. Topside shack, huh? I see. Anyway, what was I saying again? Ah, right. When you finish building the barracks, you'll be able to actually have a lot more minions, because right now we're limited to 5. That's not enough at all. That's not even much, in fact. So, let's start with building the first bit of the power plant. And obviously we'll be putting a door here just for security reasons. I hope we'll never find out why, but that's entirely up to the game.
Object purchase delayed.
How am I gonna do that? I think I'll just put one here.
Will be purchased when a minion is available for duty.
It's always... I've always found it a little bit difficult properly designing the power room. But I think this should do. This might be sufficient. And along with that, we'll need to remove this room. Make sure it's destroyed. When it's being destroyed, the money will be transferred to the other strong room automatically. You must always have a strong room in this game, otherwise you won't be able to play. In fact, it won't even let you destroy the room if you don't have another room available.
New objectives available.
And there we go! Finally increased the limit of max minions, so let's crank that bad boy right up! The more lockers you have, the more minions you may have.
Available for construction. New objects are available for purchase.
Ah yes, I forgot. We also have the ability now to interrogate a maid that's walking somewhere around. Maybe she's still arriving, I'm not entirely certain. Seems like she's just arriving, so we can look at the maid coming on our lands. Welcome! Welcome! So, in order for the maid to be effective, we'll first need to build a holding cell. We'll get to that when we get to that. First, an autosave, but that aside, let me go to the world. This is where we can get our money, because we are running extremely low right now. This is not a game that's played at a low pace.
Depot now stocks new objects.
So let's send some minions out into the world.
Available.
We've unlocked the hotel as well, but the hotel's really, really expensive. To the point where I usually get it only in a mid-game, before leaving this island, but after having even an inner sanctum ready already. This time I'll be playing the long run, so I'll have some minions in play, getting me some funds. At a relatively low pace, but hopefully high enough. I wonder what's coming out of this helicopter. Oh, it's our minions going into the world. I see. When this happens, you can go to the map. And at some point you'll see the helicopter actually flying in. So we live somewhere way off the map. I can't scroll this, by the way. It's just a big plaque, really. But yeah, the helicopter flies off and delivers our minions. And it also seems our power is online now. That's pretty good. Because with power, we'll actually able to keep the doors from closing. From staying open. Because they need power to be closed. Which makes sense in a way, I guess. Right, so I think now is about the time we start building our armory. I usually build it near the control center, which might not necessarily be a good idea. More on that later, I suppose. For now, let's just plop down a simple room right here. And we have these doors like this, so that statics basically.
Construction underway.
Put a door in.
Purchase order confirmed.
Little holding cell.
Object has been ordered.
Actually, no. Let's change it up. Let's go like that.
Build order confirmed.
So that our holding cell
Confirmed.
can be 2 holding cells.
Object purchase order confirmed.
Now, obviously I haven't decided what I'll be doing with that space yet, but it's probably fine.
Construction underway.
I can even plop down an additional door now.
Room construction unpaused.
Let's wait while we are earning some money and gain some minions. And so we find ourselves having everything finished. Time to progress the game a little bit. We need to capture the maid.
Tag issued.
Was our henchman in the world, of course. We currently only have 4 minions on the island, which is honestly more than enough. It allows us to get money somewhat quickly. However, as soon as we get the maid, we'll be unlocking the training room, which again requires a fair amount of space, which I suppose means we should already get started with building the next part of the corridor. And we should plan it a little bit ahead as well. Like, make sure that there's enough room down here for things to appear. As you can tell already, this will cost a bit of money, but we've got it. It won't be a problem. Now 4 minions are on the way. Well, 3 of them apparently. Seems like a 4th minion is currently getting our maid into the cell. It's unknown which one though, but they are going somewhere. Doesn't really matter which one they pick anyway. And there we have it! Unlock the interrogation chair. I suppose we might as well just put them there.
Are busy at the present time.
I don't think it matters really.
Delayed.
Oh yeah, they're all busy trying to finish this. Was wondering where the 4th minion was, but I think he's going through the outside. Yeah. Because for some reason this... Oh wait, that makes sense. Never mind. While we're doing this, I honestly want to unlock the library. So we'll be doing a mission this time. Doing a mission will increase heat in the world, and add notoriety as well. But for now, I'm certain it'll be fine. Seems like the corridor is all finished, which means they will now go ahead and make errands to place down the objects that we've ordered. Good stuff. And our entrance is being built as well, which is perfect.
Prisoner interrogation order confirmed. Awaiting interrogation device selection.
Let's interrogate the maid. One of the minions will automatically be assigned to do this. Eventually. I'm not entirely certain when. Ah, this minion seems to go and interrogate the maid. This minion is placing down the entrance and you are placing down an object. I can tell by the fact that they're carrying different boxes. Objects are always green. Well, this one I honestly don't get to see that often. So that must be the entrance, right? If you want to see, it is quite funny to look at them while they're interrogating anyone.
Pacific Radio. This is Pacific FM, and I'm Larry Driscoll, keeping you up to date with regional events from California all the way up to Alaska. The story on everyone's lips today is the big felony committed earlier. No one knows who's responsible yet, but everyone's got a theory. Isn't that right, Bill? Haha, yeah. Even the penguins in Alaska got a theory, Larry. Penguins are from the South Pole, Bill. Damn it, Larry. Why do you always show me up on air?
Radiant Death Lucy.
Okay.
And there we go.
New objects are available for purchase. New room blueprints now available.
Interrogation is finished. Now the real deal starts. We'll be needing more minions. We'll be needing a lot more minions. A lot of objects unlocked, by the way.
Room construction unpaused.
Part of it is because of a new mission. We are now to gather the crime lords in the world. Like the mafia boss and head of an organized crime organization. Simple, right? You'd think so. Nothing could be further from the truth. We'll be sending our henchmen back into our place. And we'll be looking for a guard, which is here. So I suppose we'll be sending out some minions. And if I'm correct, one of our minions will actually continue to work on this. That would be this minion. Perfect. Seems like the doors get priority, which I'm fine with. I think that's absolutely okay. But as you can tell, we are now under scrutiny. And the first agents have arrived. The more heat we create in the world map, the more difficult the agents will be, and at some moments in time, they might even send soldiers. I believe there is a very specific rule when it comes to the soldiers. They appear only when an agent has escaped, I think. But I'm not entirely certain. Oh, they even sent just one soldier. I guess that's because we basically have no notoriety whatsoever. What we just saw happening was one of our soldiers got killed. Well, minions, I guess. That happens from time to time. Whenever that happens, we better hide. Now, it is possible to predict when that will happen. Some agents will appear, show up, and eventually, after a few seconds or minutes, even kill them off. But we can only see those agents on the world map when we have access to it. You can click on a country and see how many control banks you need to get inside into that part of the world. Obviously we need a lot for some regions. And for some other regions not that many. Seems to even sometimes require only half one full. I didn't know that. Now I do. So obviously I completely forgot to put down a training room. I want to reserve some space for the inner sanctum. Actually we might as well do that now. It won't have to be a big room, believe it or not, but the inner sanctum is quite easy.
New room build
Really.
order confirmed.
Just
This
a
object
table.
will be purchased when a minion is available for duty. Room
And a desk.
Underway.
Perfect.
All construction workers are busy at the present time. Object purchase delayed.
However, we won't be using this. We won't be building it yet. No, not the power plant. Give me a training room. And the door to the training room will be right there. Perfect. The training room needs to be big. But it doesn't mean that it has to start big. We'll just have to make sure not to use any unnecessary space. For now, I would say that this is sufficient.
Build order confirmed.
In fact, it actually is.
Construction workers are busy at the present time. Object purchase delayed.
It actually is kind of much. You have made your round. You should be leaving soon. If the soldiers and other agents will spend their time on the island for a little while, and eventually they decide they've found nothing, so they leave again. I'm not sure what to do with this. Guess I could just wrap around a little bit. Looks funky. I like it. Agents will try to enter our base, which is why we have so many doors. Eventually they'll follow our minions in. Sometimes they slip through a few of these doors, one or two or several. And they can also open them at times, which is why we'll want...
Hola, this is the Smashville service. Citizens in all Smash territories are being urged to remain vigilant as the spate of kidnappings continues. Skilled civilians are being spirited away by the evil organizations for an unknown purpose. In an off-the-record comment, one Smash official said that the chances of rescuing the hostages were slim to none.
We've made it. We've managed to get the mission complete. So I'll be sending our minions back into the world. Right now we don't have a stable income. We don't have much going for us. But since we've just gotten ourselves a guard, we'll be able to recruit some security minions. And security minions are good at fighting, but they're also good at making money. You see these investigators already want to leave. They're completely lost in our little base. Because they have no clue where to go. They could go right, they could go left. What's behind this unknown door? Who knows? But they seem to be leaving already. And now they're trying to get back in. Why? Well, they found out what's behind this unknown door. And now they know. For some reason, the world doesn't actually keep track of what previous agents have investigated, have discovered. They don't make maps, apparently. Which I found interesting, really.
Commencing mission.
But if that's the way they want to roll, that's the way they roll. You are leading them straight into our base, sir. I don't appreciate that. But alas, it's fine. We can interrogate this prisoner.
Select an interrogation device to proceed.
What are you doing? Trying some pathfinding, I guess.
Hello, Reverend Archer here with another message of hope from the Polynesian mission in Papua New Guinea. We had a wonderful turnout for the raffle last week, but the Hunt Shell first prize is still unclaimed. So check those tickets. Good news, chaps. Those anonymous ruffians got a nasty surprise today when they tried to pull off another evil plot. Well done to Anvil for sorting them out, although I do think they needn't be so heavy-handed.
Warning, high security door breached.
So what happened there, the reason we actually failed that mission, is because there were agents. And I didn't know about it, but I could have expected it. So they found money, basically.
Security door bypassed.
We'll be sending some minions out to kill them. And of course our henchmen as well.
New rooms are available for construction.
Ah, the infirmary.
Now stocks new objects.
I suppose an agent killed one of our minions, and now we've learned that we may need an infirmary in order to keep them alive. I would suggest that makes a lot of sense. Seems like a lot's starting to happen already. Burglars in our base, an interrogation happening here, and there's people on the world map. From here on out, it'll be chaos, and there'll be even more cuts. And our guard obviously does things that regular minions don't. Same for our valet, which is exactly what we want. It would appear that our minions are finally starting to collect, so they can study. Here you can see a valet being trained by another valet. This minion seems to be smart, huh? And this minion will be trained into a guard. Well, not this one, apparently. Nah, this one. Meanwhile, these investigators are still waiting for this door to open, which won't open. That door is not used a lot by my minions. Oh right, I forgot, these things are expensive. 6,000, 18,000. 1,800 is not expensive at all, but still more than we currently can afford as far as I know. So as far as I'm concerned. We'll have to make sure as well that none of our minions will be lost. I'm not sure which one of these was earning the most money. Seems like it wasn't this one, huh? Oh yeah, that's a lot better. Right, that way we'll have at least some kind of income. Doing missions increases our notoriety, which is mandatory for things to work. Unfortunately, the soldiers just spawned, agents just spawned, and we're doing a mission. That means the mission will be in a lot of danger to actually succeed. However, it seems fine this time.
Hello there, this is Reverend Archer with the Polynesian Public Service broadcast on a mission in Papua New Guinea. I've got an exciting program lined up for you today. First a few hymns and a bit of a prayer, then we'll see if the Nakat tribe managed to give up headhunting for Lent. I've also heard that some evil men have recently been causing mischief in these parts, so make sure you take a good book with you at all times.
I love those news messages. They're so funny sometimes. We need the money. So, I'll be playing this game, not expanding. Not doing any missions either. But I'll just be making a bit of money. I think that is also going to be the end of the episode. So, thank you all for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe and hit the notification bell in order to be notified whenever a new video comes out. Don't forget to leave a comment in the comment box below, so you can share your feelings and thoughts and tell me how terrible I am. How evil, or how terrible I am in this game, maybe. As for now... before I forget, share this video with friends, family, anyone you think is mischievous. Any kind of rebel person that you know. Someone similar to Chloe from Life is Strange, maybe. Maybe a little bit less rebel. Maybe a little bit more rebel. It's up to you. Well, as for now, thanks for watching. And I hope to see you in the next episode. Goodbye.